Hello everyone, the Chart Guys have been working on an introductory technical analysis course for quite some time now, and after surveying hundreds of traders with what would be the most sought after information regarding technical analysis, we came up with this course, When to Enter and Exit. It covers over 5 hours of the basics on when to enter and exit, and we feel after watching this course it will help build a foundation of technical analysis knowledge which will eliminate a lot of the uncertainty in the world of trading stocks. So the course outline, we go over the psychology of trading, establishing a game plan, the different indicators we use to signal a bullish and bearish entry, how to recognize support and resistance levels, poor entries, where traders make mistakes, exit targets, how do you know where to sell your trade, where to place stop losses, that's very important, minimizing losses is what keeps you in the game long term, my personal preparations, how I go about getting ready for each trading day, and then piecing it all together, utilizing all the information we just learned and how to apply that in the real world for making successful, profitable trades. As a bonus, we also include a lot of information on finding entries and exits utilizing patterns, and you can find these patterns on every time frame on pretty much any stock and commodity trading, and certainly being able to recognize those patterns can give you an edge as well. So we hope you will check this out. Again, it's an introductory level course. So if you are new to technical analysis and trying to get a firm grasp on things and feeling a little bit overwhelmed, then this course is for you. I hope you check it out. Appreciate you watching. Hello gold friends, checking in on the dollar first, and the dollar on the hourly here has been bouncing for a couple days, and at this point they haven't done anything to change the trend of the consolidation that we've been seeing. They would have to break 102.49, make that 102.51 to see a higher high, and for us to be looking for the bulls to return back to the recent highs that we have seen. So right now we are still in a downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, and we don't really have a clear support. I'm going to put it on the 4-hour chart to condense things a little bit. So if the bulls cannot turn this around with higher lows and higher highs, there's not a ton of support. We did establish support down here at 101.30. And then we're looking down at 173. So watching very closely as to whether or not the bulls are going to resume the overall uptrend. And looking at the daily time frame, we can see after those two big pullbacks, a nice solid green day. But again, it really hasn't done anything. We now have a lower high and a lower low. Long term, absolutely still bullish on the daily time frame. That has not changed in any way, shape, or form. In the weekly time frame, is seeing consolidation, but at this point, it is normal and healthy still. Watching this 10-week moving average support, we've held that for pretty much this whole breakout that has occurred since back in September. So watching that 10-week support, if we were to lose that on the weekly, then we could start looking for potentially some longer-term consolidation, which is obviously what the gold bulls want to see. So gold has been consolidating in a very similar manner, inverse to the dollar, and it still hasn't broken the uptrend on the hourly. This is normal, healthy consolidation, in my opinion. And we're looking at support of 1170.41 and then down to 1160.61. So for me at this point, looking at the daily time frame for gold, the question is, we got our target on the oversold bounce. We were looking at 1160 and 1180, and you can see we are rejecting from 1180 2 days here, unable to close above that level. And that was the case back here on a little bounce attempt back in early December as well. And that's why that resistance was picked out. But the question is, we have our oversold bounce. Are the bears going to continue in control here of the overall daily and weekly trend? Or is this the start of a trend reversal? And judging by the magnitude of the bounce at this point, I would say more likely than not, we are going to see the bulls resume some more upside. But what I need to see is consolidation, and welcoming consolidation at this point, because I need the bulls to prove to me that we're going to pull back normal and healthy, form a higher low of support, and then continue to the upside. And that 10-day moving average support might be the perfect area for that to occur off of. It's currently at 1152, and by early next week, that will be in the mid to upper 1150s. So if we were to consolidate, bounce off the 10-day moving average support, and then continue to higher highs by breaking 1184.81, that would go a very long way in proving to me that the bulls are back in terms of the longer term trend. So we can see the weekly established support, and we've got this oversold bounce. We rejected from the 10-week moving average resistance, and we need to see a higher low and then a higher high. And you can see the dump that we've seen certainly would be, I don't want to say easy, but it would be not too difficult for the bulls to head back to 1200 from where we currently stand. 1200 would be a tough level because you can see it acted as support here multiple times. It's a nice round psychological number. So if we pull back, I'm going to be looking at the 10-day moving average support to be tested, for the bulls to hold it, and then for the bulls to head to 1200. And I'm not going to assume that's going to happen. I'm going to say to myself, that's the most likely scenario in my opinion, and I'm going to look to see if that's the way it plays out. So step number one, continue this consolidation, bounce off the 10-day moving average support. So on the daily and weekly time frame, let's look at some of these miners. Let's look at GDX. We can see we consolidated, we filled the gap, normal and healthy, and we actually filled it by, I think, 1 penny. So a nice target, filled it by a penny, and then the bulls showed up. And we're going to be watching the 50-day support, which is going to begin leveling out. We're watching the middle Bollinger Band support, which is pretty lagging pretty far behind. That needs to catch up. But a very bullish uptrend, and we haven't even seen 2 red days in a row on consolidation from that breakout. We have the middle Bollinger Band weekly resistance rejecting GDX here. That's at 23.25. That's a key resistance we're going to be watching going forward. We're going to be watching the MACD and the EMAs, the 4 and 8 period for the TCG bull cross. An ideal scenario for the bulls is to turn the middle Bollinger Band into support and see the 4 period EMA cross the 8 period to the upside. Checking in on GDXJ, and again, NUGT trades based off of GDX, and JNUG trades based off of GDXJ. So same thing in terms of filling the gap. That gap was 34.23. We filled it by 7 cents, and then the bulls showed up. So it's still very strong in terms of the bounce playing out. Weekly time frame, same thing, rejecting from the middle Bollinger Band resistance. Nice increase in bull volume on this bounce. That gives confidence to the bulls as well. Same thing, MACD, TCG cross, very similar setups on the weekly time frame for both GDX and GDXJ. So that's what we're looking at heading into next week. We could see more consolidation, but that certainly wouldn't have me running for the hills if I were a gold bull and a longer term player. Of course, I'm more of a day trader, so I'm in and out more often, but consolidation occurring, normal and healthy. Need to see the 10-day gold moving average support hold, and then continuation up towards 1200 psychological resistance. We'll see how it plays out. We'll check back in on Monday. Hope you have a good weekend.